We have some major breaking news this afternoon as it has been announced that Mike Tomlin is stepping down from being the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to our video. As I just said in Sunday, it's some pretty massive major breaking news as it has been announced and confirmed that Mike Tomlin is stepping down as a head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here's what was reported by Adam Schefter earlier today. Breaking, after a historic 19-season run in Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin just informed his team that he is stepping down as the Steelers head coach. Sources tell Jay Fowler, ESPN, and me. The Steelers will be looking for only their fourth head coach since 1969. This is an absolute shock to say the least. I think many people were expecting that Mike Tomlin more than likely was going to be sticking around as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has been, like it was mentioned, he has been the head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers now for nearly 20 years. He became the head coach of the organization in 2007, and he's actually done a very, very solid job as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. His career in regular season career, of course, is 193, 111 in 2 ties, 114 losses, and 193 wins. His postseason hasn't been as strong with 8 wins and 12 losses, but of course, he has led the Pittsburgh Steelers to a Super Bowl back many years ago. I think they won the Super Bowl back in 2009. I'm pretty sure at 2009 they won the Super Bowl, and they made the postseason many, many times. And of course, he was an assistant coach for the Super Bowl back in 2003 when the Oakland Raiders played against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down the year when the Buccaneers went on to win that Super Bowl. But this is a massive, massive loss because I would say that when it comes to coaches, and people have had some criticism toward Mike Tomlin over the years, but one thing about Mike Tomlin is there's been a lot of consistency with the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's been some good things of Mike Tomlin that have happened, but also in recent years, there's been some questionable things that have happened under Mike Tomlin. Now, this year, of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to make the NFL playoffs. They unfortunately got their asses kicked, sadly, basically against the Houston Texans, where the Houston Texans looked like it was going to be a really close game, and the Steelers might actually beat the Houston Texans, but then the Houston Texans really turned it on in the second half of the game, and they won 31-6, making it from a really close game to a really large game. And I wonder if that loss of the game and how the game ended is a big factor why Mike Tomlin is leaving. Now, Mike Tomlin is not really that old of a head coach when you really think about it. Mike Tomlin is 53 years old. I mean, you've got coaches in their 60s and 70s. Look at Andy Reid, for example. Andy Reid is still the head coach currently of the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think he's a little bit older at this point. I think he's 60s or 70s. He's been around forever, so I don't think that I think this could be the end for Mike Tomlin. I have to imagine this is potential retirement for Mike Tomlin more than likely, but this is a massive shock and surprise. Now, the big question you have to ask yourselves, who are they going to get as a head coach? I think they've got some people in their group in their core they could end up putting in as head coach going into 2026 or this upcoming season for the NFL, but there is John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh, of course, got fired from the Baltimore Ravens, is no longer the head coach for them. There are a lot of teams that are gunning for his potential services. Green Bay Packers could be one to watch out for on that front, though Matt LaFleur is expected to re-sign and keep playing with being the head coach for the organization going forward. There are obviously, of course, other teams. The New York Giants, another team that do need a head coach. I think Mike McDaniel just got fired from his organization not too long ago. There are a lot of teams that are going to be really pushing for John Harbaugh's services, and I would imagine the Steelers are no exception to this. But they might promote from within at this point. So a lot of head coaches that have just been fired. Mike McDaniel could be one to watch out for that could end up over there. And you never know, maybe Mike McDaniel could actually go over there and perform very, very well. At this point, this is a major, major loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers to lose Mike Tomlin. They're coming off having, again, a pretty solid year. I think they had like a 10-6 season or 10-7 year. They had pretty close, almost having more losses, but they ended up having a decent year. It just felt like they weren't going to beat the Texans. I kind of said this in my predictions. I just didn't feel like they were going to beat the Houston Texans. But a massive loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers, to say the least, that Mike Tomlin is stepping down and is no longer with the organization. A major deal. We'll find out probably in the near future, ends up being with the organization down the road. But again, a massive and major loss to see that Mike Tomlin is no longer with the organization. And there's going to be a lot of firings happening this offseason. A lot of coaching changes are going to happen, and a lot of big things are going to happen on that front. It'll be a big story to pay attention to as time progresses and goes on. But a major loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers because Mike Tomlin was a really good coach. And I think you're now going after a big one. You'll find out in the near future who ends up being the head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers going forward. So, that's for today's special breaking news report on Mike Tomlin stepping down from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links in the description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What are your thoughts on the history of Mike Tomlin being with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and who you think comes in and replaces Mike Tomlin? You think it'll be John Harbaugh or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. On my main NASCAR channel, there is going to be a NASCAR news dropping. There was some big news around Tony Stewart earlier today. Of course, the new championship format got announced yesterday as well. We're going to be talking about that a little more because I have some more thoughts on the championship format. And of course, they're doing a test in North Wilkesboro currently at the moment. I will be doing my predictions for the playoffs on Thursday. I'm moving that back a little bit. I was originally going to do it tomorrow, but because of this major breaking news on Mike Tomlin, I won't have time to do that till tomorrow. So expect that to come out on Thursday. And I've got some other big videos dropping on the main channel, like potentially the Chase predictions for the O'Reilly series and the Truck series. Got some big stuff coming out on the channels in the coming days. A lot of fun stuff on the way. Can't wait to share it in the near future. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. I'll see you guys next time for more content like NFL, MLB, among other things. Take care, everybody.